In episode 1 of All Stars 2, the top two queens were Roxy Andrews and Tatiana, while the main challenge was a talent show. Now, if I'm being honest, what Roxy did isn't really a talent, nor a skill, in my opinion. All she did was just like walk around, shake some parts of her body, take some clothes and wigs off, and that's it. Tatiana at least wrote some sort of sultry comedic spoken word piece thing, I don't even know what to call it, and then performed it accordingly. So between the two, I do think Tatiana would have won the main challenge, but I also do have to give an honorable mention to Ginger Minj, who in my opinion should have been in the top two this week, given that she exhibited an actual talent, I mean in the classical meaning of the word, and had the best performance out of the four singing acts this episode. Next up in episode 2, we had Alaska and Katya. In Snatch Game, I'd say they both did great. These are some of the best, well, two of the best Snatch Game performances ever. But on the runway, Katya beats Alaska easily. Like, Alaska's look was really simple, and it's just like a skirt with like a bob wig, and then like a shirt or something, and then her forehead is painted, and that's kind of it. But Katya's look is, well executed, it looks great, and is also a concept look. And then on top of that, it's different from all the other looks on the runway. So the second winner for me is Katya. Next up in the top two, we have Alyssa and Detox. Now, looking at the main challenge in this episode is kind of unfair to me for a couple of reasons. Firstly, Alyssa's part was from the get-go the funniest. Then Katya and Fifi got boring and unfunny parts. Then Detox's part played up to her weird style of lip syncing where she does that weird thing with her mouth. And then the judges' critiques were unfair. Firstly, they critiqued Katya because her dress did not resemble Diana's dress much, but also had no problem with Detox's neon Marie Antoinette dollar store costume. And then they completely ignored Alaska fucking up multiple times during her performance. Firstly, her lip syncing being off, her padding being atrocious, and then her messing up the choreo and messing up with the snake prop that she had. But all that aside, the winner for me is clear here, and it's Alyssa. Now, personally, her runway to me was not my favorite, and neither was Detox's. Alyssa's was just too busy and looked really ugly, and Detox's looked like somebody's school project, and neither of their looks deserved to be in the top two when Fifi came out in one of the best runway looks Drag Race has ever seen. Alyssa wins solely for her Annie Oakley. Episode 4's top two were Alaska and Fifi. They did have the best performances in the main challenge, but like Detox and Katya had an awful script, and neither of them had any chance of being in the bottom two, and Katya's placement in the bottom three was really unnecessary. On the runway, Alaska did not have a 2-in-1 look, so she should not have been in the top two in the original ranking, so my winner, as like sort of a process of elimination, is Fifi. Episode 5 technically had 4 winners, or I guess 4 queens in the top 2, because Detox and Tatiana, and then Alyssa and Alaska won the stand-up comedy challenge, but Tatiana and Alyssa got to lip sync. Now, my winners for this week are Detox and Tatiana, and then Tatiana as the returning queen, because they had an actual routine and actual jokes. Alyssa and Alaska literally went out and made some noises, and in my opinion, the top 2 of the week should have been Ginger and Tatiana, because Ginger and Katya had a routine and had jokes again, but Alyssa and Alaska are, fan favorites, so we gotta keep the fans happy and make Fifi look like the villain. Anyway, the winner of week 5 for me is Tatiana. In episode 6, we yet again have Alaska and Katya in the top 2, and personally, I did not find Alaska's commercial funny, but the judges did, so fuck my drag. The winner for me is yet again Katya, because her commercial was actually funny to me and wasn't just a and her runway look was fucking cool. Alaska came out in pants, a shirt, and a white afro. Another thing, Tatiana should not have been in the bottom here. She was the only one who actually had like a product, like an actual existing product. And she had the cutest look on the runway with the best runway presentation. Can you tell I'm bitter about Tatiana's mistreatment on All Stars? The final top two of the season were Detox and Katya, and this time I will have to go with Detox for the win. While both Detox and Katya's transformations of their sister and mother respectively were great in their own unique ways, I preferred Detox and her sister's voguing to Katya and her mom's. Though, side note again, I do think Roxy should have been at least safe in this episode, given that her transformation of her grandma was good too. First episode of All Stars 3 had Aja and Ben de la Creme in the top two, with the main challenge being a variety show. Honestly, I don't even agree with the top two. I thought Trixie and Torji should have been top two, because they actually showed like a talent that wouldn't be constantly seen each week on All Stars, but alas, jumping off things and nipple pasties won. No, okay, I'm reaching here. Like, Aja actually did have a great dance routine. But again, a lot of the challenges on All Stars 3 were performance-based, so the impact of it all is somewhat lost. But between Aja and Dela, I do think Aja would have won this main challenge. Second episode's top two were Ben de la Creme and Shangela. This is yet another challenge where certain queens were set up to do well, some were set up to be in the middle, and some to be in the bottom. But I do have to give credit to both Ben de la Creme and Shangela. Ben de la Creme for learning the Call Me Mother lip sync and not messing up once, and Shangela for not messing up once while lip syncing to spoken word. But out of the two, Ben de la Creme had a harder job, like so much harder than Shangela, and she had so much room to mess up, while Shangela, if she had messed up, it would have been like, ah yeah, she's still in character because Mariah Carey messed up and she's doing Mariah Carey. On top of that, Ben de la Creme's runway look was better than Shangela, so I do have to go with Ben de la Creme for this one. In episode 3, we had Ben de la Creme and Kennedy. This one's an easy pick for me, it's Ben de la again. Kennedy, while she was hilarious in the improv challenge, she went for a joke that I somewhat get annoyed by and have a problem with, which is the I'm a drag queen, so obviously I'm just a man in a wig joke. Her reveal on the runway was good, but like it was nothing to write home about, and it really couldn't compare to Dela's. In episode 4, we yet again have Ben de la Creme and Shangela in the top two, and again I have to go with Dela, but this time solely because of the runways. You know, Shangela wore a Beyonce costume, it wasn't her look, it was a Beyonce look, that's kind of it. In episode 5, the top two were Trixie, and BB was there for some reason too. Trixie wins this one easily, good night. For episode 6, I'm gonna do multiple picks. So first, who the winner from each girl group is, then who I think did better out of the two, and then I'll choose a winner out of Ben de la Creme and BB. Spoiler alert, it's not BB. Firstly, the sitting on a secret kitty girls. The best look for me is Torji's, the best worse, either Torji's or Aja's, and then the best character is also Torji's or Aja's. But because we had already seen this character from Aja, I do think the best one from the eliminated queens was Torji, and honestly, not just because I love her. Morgan was bleh, Milk was trying too hard, and what the fuck was Chi doing? Well, okay, Chi at least has a gorgeous voice, but like, what the fuck was she doing? Now, drag up your life, kitty girls. I think we can all agree that Ben de la Creme did the best, and also that Trixie should have been in the top two with her and not BB, but still, Dela would have won out of these 5. And who I think was better between Torji and Dela? I'd say Dela, just cause Cardio Kitty kinda reminds me of Sporty Spice in the concept. The final top two of All Stars 3 were Trixie and Shangela, and I have to go with Trixie here, and here's why. Both Trixie and Shangela did great in the acting challenge, but Trixie's role was better written, and she, at first, didn't even want that role, while Shangela immediately got the role she wanted. And also, Trixie's runway look is amazing, and yeah, Shangela's is good too, but like, again, it's not her look, it's a Lady Gaga look, and on top of all of that, it's a gimmick look. Trixie's look would have worked even out of the boundaries of the runway team, so yeah, Trixie wins this one for me. And just like I said the last time, go buy Cream on iTunes.